What's up, everybody? It's Cy the Bourbon Guy, and welcome back to another whiskey pickup hunt. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I got more bottles of whiskey, and I'm here to talk about it. There you go. That's what we're here. So, first up, Hard Truth out of Indiana. By now, I'm sure everybody knows this brand. It is one that has seemed to blow up in the past few years. It's one that, yes, it's based out of Indiana, and I definitely want to support the home team, but I don't know that I've really needed to do much to really speak on it. I think that I've told a few people about it and hopefully have gotten people to try it. But if you haven't, the Sweet Mash Rye is the one that for me put Hard Truth on the map. I used to not actually really be a fan of rye whiskeys. There were several of them that changed my mind, and Hard Truth Sweet Mash Rye is definitely one of them. But today we're going to look at their Barrel Finish Reserve series, again a Sweet Mash Rye, but it was finished in Spanish PX Brandy barrels. So this particular one is one in all transparency that, or all full, being transparent about it, this bottle actually was sent to me from Hard Truth. And, you know, to my understanding, this is a very limited bottle. But again, I'm any Hard Truth product, I am willing to try it because I love the Sweet Mash Rye. I got a chance to try a few other of their products and really enjoyed those as well. Again, me being in Indiana, a little bit of a different setup because I can go, they actually have a restaurant as well here where I live in Indianapolis, and I can go in the restaurant and buy Hard Truth bottles there, or, you know, some merch or whatever the case is, and get a bite to eat while I'm there. So again, what they're doing out of Indiana is fantastic. I think that they have really been put on the map, and anything they're willing to send, I will definitely try and give my honest opinion regardless. Anytime that a bottle is sent to me, I always make sure that I lay out the expectations. So every time a bottle of whiskey is sent to me, I make sure that we say that it's just for me to try it and give my honest feedback. It's not for me to say that this is the best whiskey on the planet if it's not. But I believe in Hard Truth, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be a good bottle. The second bottle is from Holladay out of Missouri, and I just reviewed their soft red wheat. This one is the soft red wheat Rickhouse proof. So this one is 120 proof, and I mean, that's 120.1 to be exact. The review, and I'll link it in the little thingy up here, but the review of the regular soft red wheat I thought was a great bottle. I still think it's a great bottle. It's 100 proof, and I kept thinking, knowing that this was available, I just wondered if at a higher proof, if more of those flavors would provide, or there would be more depth, I guess, to that flavor. And the flavors are there, but at 100 proof, I kind of felt like it was not watered down, but again, muted maybe a little bit, and I wanted to see what that whiskey can do at a higher proof. So definitely glad to have this one in the collection now. Moving right along, one bottle that I have to buy every time I see it is the Maker's Mark Private Select bottles. Now these are ones that I don't know why they are overlooked the way they are. People, maybe just because there's so many of them, I don't know, but people seem to overlook Maker's Mark products in general, in my opinion. But the Private Selects, for those that don't know, there is a label on the front of the bottle that shows you 5 different possible staves, wood staves that they use to finish in the barrel. And depending on what your number is, you have to total 10 different staves in there. So whatever your combination is, there's 1,001 possible combinations. That means there's 1,001 different variations of that same bottle that are out there. For me, I thought that if I find a combination that I really like, I'll write it down. And then as I continue to hunt whiskey, I'll look at it and I'll find that combination again. No, that's never happened. As many of these as I've bought, I'd have never got a repeat unless I went back and bought the same bottle. So that's how hard it is to find those. And then even when I did find one, they switched one of the wood staves and they took out the mocha stave. I wish they would bring the makers. I know nobody's watching this, but please bring back that mocha stave. I love that mocha stave. But either way, that bottle is one that anytime I see it, I'm gonna buy it. So, and these are all picked. So, these are ones that somebody, whether it's a store or bar or restaurant, whatever, went to Maker's Mark and did the process of selecting the staves, sampling, blending, doing all that to see what the profile would be. I myself got a chance to do that. This barrel next to me is actually from one of those those times. This is a Maker's barrel, but the numbers on the front of that bottle actually have to total 10, and like I said, it just provides a different variation. And to me, that combination can change this whiskey drastically. For the most part, I still enjoy almost all of these, but there have been a few that I've gotten that I don't care for at all. So it's weird how much of an impact this can have. And like I said, me being involved in this process for another liquor store, to see that firsthand, how hard that is to nail down a profile or to find exactly what you're looking for. I've got so much respect for whiskey blending and just all of it after doing that process. It is very, very difficult to do. I think if you're looking for something good, maybe makers can suggest a combination to use or maybe where to start. But if you're looking at nailing a specific taste profile, that's very hard to do. So again, all the respect in the world for those who blend whiskey. But this particular one is a store pick from a local grocery store. I love the label. It just says, "Shh, drink me." They told me that the initial label was "Shut up and drink me," but they were asked to change it. So, "Shh, drink me." I love it. Basically, yeah, we could talk about it all day. I could talk about the staves. I could talk about all the other things there is to nerd out about when it comes to whiskey. Just shut up and drink me. I love it. All right, that same grocery store in my area here also has a Starlight pick. This is a VDN. Now this one is a 98.8 proof, finished in VDN barrels. Don't really know much about VDN. And all I really know is that VDN is a wine, I believe. I don't know. Somebody comment and let me know where I'm missing the mark. But to me, this is one that I've heard people hunt. I've heard a lot of people talk about. I've heard a lot of people love this bottle. But it's just weird how it kind of changes depending on where you go in the country, because here this just sits there and nobody looks like they're hunting it at all. It's been in the shelves for like months now, but they still have it and still have plenty of bottles there. So I guess depending on where you go, sometimes you just find things sitting there. But either way, it's my understanding that this one is going to be a little bit more on the orange side, similar to like a Penelope Valencia or something like that maybe. And I'm curious how that will pair with myself as with my palate maybe, because I'm not always the biggest fan of the over orangey type of flavoring in bourbon. Some people love that though, and so I can see why people hunt if that's what they feel like this is. But as I say, there's only one way to try it, or there's more than one way to try it. There's only one way to know, and that is to try it. So review coming soon. And last but not least, Four Roses single barrel. This is also a pick. This comes from Total Wine. You got this tag floating in the wind. This is an OESF. So, for those that may not be familiar, again, there's several different recipe combinations that Four Roses can use, and they're all listed right here on this tab. And I know a lot of people that try to collect every single recipe, and all that's fun. This one I actually kind of just ran into. I was actually running out to Total Wine, seemed to be the only people in the area that had this eggnog that I like, Pennsylvania Dutch. It's one of my favorites. And I went there. There's a guy that I know that manages the Total Wine there, and I talked with him a little bit, showed me where the Pennsylvania Dutch was, but then also told me that they had this barrel pick that was kind of just dropped off on them. And I had no problem helping him out, as one would do. So, we'll see. I think that I can't really imagine a situation where a barrel pick gets missed from Four Roses. I think that even the ones that I haven't liked as much, still by no means a bad whiskey or a bad bottle or anything like that. So, I'm kind of curious how this pick will stack up. I just actually got one from another liquor store here in the area that was 10 years, 6 months. This one is 10 years, 10 months. So I don't know. It seems to me like they're getting older. I don't know what everybody else's thoughts are, but it seems to me like some of the single barrels I've seen recently are a little bit older in that 10-year range than what I saw previously. I think before I would kind of see like a 9-year age stated single barrel. I don't know. Maybe that's just this area. I'm not sure, but I don't think you can go wrong with a Four Roses single barrel. I think if you went into a store right now and found, I believe it's around $40, $50, the 100 proof Four Roses single barrel, I don't think you can go wrong with that either. But this at barrel strength, I think is going to be great. Sometimes for me, they don't necessarily miss, but they can feel a little too spicy or a little hot, drink hot for me personally. So I kind of look for lower proofs of those sometimes, but any situation that I have where I can try it before I buy it, but would be great, I guess. But yeah, either way, it's a Four Roses single barrel. It's barrel strength. Whatever, I'm buying it. It is what it is. So I look forward to reviewing all these whiskeys. Every time I do one of these whiskey haul videos, after I do the whiskey haul video, I go back and review them. So that's what I try to do and stay on that path. Sometimes other bottles enter the picture and I get kind of behind on the reviews, but I'm going to try my hardest to knock out every single one of these bottles here soon. For those that may not be as familiar right now, currently I am posting one video a week and then another video that's just purely a review. So 2 total each week. We'll see if I can keep these reviews going, and comment, let me know if it's something that you all want to see, or maybe people just like seeing regular whiskey content without the reviews. But my whole goal is to officially review every single whiskey that I have. I would love one day to say that I've reviewed thousands of whiskeys, right? And I just really have that firm belief that you can't really pinpoint what you think is good or really have a clear visual over what's good without trying everything. Just try everything. Those that are new to the whiskey game, welcome, first of all. And second of all, like I said, just try everything. I know that everybody's going to post about Russell's 13 and Old Fitz and, E.H. Taylor and Blanton's and all this other stuff. King of Kentucky and Purple Tops and everything, all the allocated stuff. There's going to be plenty of content out there where people are talking about those bottles. And yes, they're fantastic bottles, but you don't need me to review that and tell you that, right? So my goal is to sample and try or review, whatever you want to call it, all these different whiskeys and just get a better idea of what's out there in the market. What can you go buy right now, sitting on a shelf that you're still going to enjoy? Because again, I don't know what benefit it does to anybody for me to tell you that this is one you need to go buy and you can't even find it, right? So it just kind of is what it is, but I'll get off the soapbox for now. I can't wait to review these. Reviews coming soon. Make sure every Tuesday and Thursday you check out all the new videos. Make sure you're subscribed and all that stuff so that way you never miss anything, and I'll see you in the next whiskey video. Cheers.